right, so next we have Nicole Landon. Nicole, she is a fearless health truther, and that is the truth. As the host of the Meat Sack Experience podcast, Nicole dives deep into healing the body without relying on medication. With 2 decades of experience in a medical profession, she brings a wealth of knowledge and insight to her discussion. She has a profound understanding of energy, how energy becomes blocked within the body, and uncovers strategies to address energetic imbalances. Nicole is dedicated to helping others find healing without conventional medicine, shines within her work and her community to authenticity, creates a safe space for listeners to explore new avenues as well. Welcome, Nicole.
Thank you, Shannon, for the lovely introduction. Hi, everyone. I appreciate you all making an epic choice to be here. Do you realize that by choosing to show up here today, you either consciously or unconsciously decided to love and empower yourself? See, self-care isn't as taboo as some might suggest. Well, you're probably asking yourself, what is self-care, lady? Well, let's dig into it, shall we? Truthfully, there are many definitions as to what self-care really means. Here's one definition, according to the World Health Organization. Self-care is the ability of individuals, families, and communities to promote health and to cope with illness and disability with or without the support of a healthcare provider. Another definition from dictionary.com says that self-care are the products or practices used to comfort or soothe oneself. So according to these definitions, self-care can range from taking medications, supplements, or herbal remedies to safeguard you and others from illness. You could seek treatment should you become ill, eat healthy, exercise, get adequate sleep, treat yourself to getting your hair or nails done, getting a massage, taking a vacation, or simply cuddling up with your favorite book. Let me know in the chat right now how you are utilizing some self-care techniques.
Can you see the chat, Nicole?
No.
We have meditation, listening to you, meditation 2 times daily, setting boundaries for myself, no calls on Friday, cuddling with my 4-legged kid, journaling, and workouts.
Those are all awesome. Thank you, guys. So as you can see, there are a lot of ways to integrate self-care into your daily routine and life. Now ask yourself, is that really all self-care is? The answer is a resounding no. Self-care is actually much, much deeper than that. Don't get me wrong, the above list is an excellent introduction into self-care, but there's a lot left to be uncovered. So let's reveal what self-care really is. Let me start by saying that self-care and self-love are synonymous. You cannot choose self-care for yourself. You cannot choose to care for yourself and not love yourself. I want to say that one more time, and I want you guys to really feel into that. You cannot care about yourself and not have love for yourself. I will also be using these terms interchangeably throughout this talk. So self-care is more than just doing things for yourself. Self-care is learning to be there for yourself when no one else is. It's loving yourself in the difficult, scary moments, and it's also encouraging yourself to keep going even when it seems too difficult. Here's a little personal story for myself. So as I traverse this wonderful life, I have been branching out and doing more things that are getting me outside my comfort zone. And I have truthfully struggled with confidence pretty much my entire life. And as I'm stepping more into what I want to do for a career, my insecurities are like really rearing up. And so I was asking myself, I was like, self, what can I do to bring out and embrace more confidence within myself? And I love dancing, love it. I've always loved dancing. And a friend of mine about a couple months ago asked me to take a burlesque class with her. And I was like, heck yeah, I'll totally do that. Except for I never pulled the trigger. I was like, yeah, okay, we'll just do that later. We'll put on the back burner. Well, cut to a couple of weeks ago, it came up again. And that's when I really was like, I'm going to embrace my confidence. We're just going to do this. So guess what I did? I signed myself up for some burlesque classes. And you know what? I actually love it. Like, I'm obsessed. Sidebar, I may perform. So yeah, there's that. Anyway, let's get back to self-care. So self-care is also learning to give yourself grace when you make a mistake, and it's also the confidence to keep going forward. Self-care is showing up for yourself in the most loving way in your most difficult and trying times, and it's celebrating your victories in your greatest, most exciting times. It is learning to be your own cheerleader and your own parent. Self-love is learning how to have those really difficult conversations with yourself about how you're lying to yourself and how you are limiting yourself, while also giving grace to yourself in those situations. It is acknowledging your own beliefs, perceptions, ideas, judgments, and feelings so that you can better understand why you operate out of the programs that you operate out of. This also helps you detach from the way that you are perceiving not only yourself, but others. Have you ever revealed a personal experience to someone who you thought was a confidant, only to be misunderstood and then feel like they don't even really know you? If you are not confident in who you are, this kind of situation can easily derail you. So learning to take inventory of how and why you respond to things will only benefit you in the long run. Understanding your motivations behind your actions or reactions allows you to address situations from an objective perspective and remove all the emotion from the situation so that you can respond in a way that makes you feel happy. Have you ever been so excited to get home and crawl into your significant other's arms to decompress and just have them like love and support you after a really, really long and stressful day? Yes. Only to come home to find out that they've equally had a stressful day and have zero ability to support you? Well, what are you doing in those situations? And how do you handle that situation? It is in those unexpected moments that you will positively change your life if you love yourself. Because in those moments, you have two choices. You can see your partner as human and that they struggle as well, which will help you have compassion for them so that you can turn inward and provide that same love and support that you need for yourself. Or you can see that your partner or think that your partner does not care about you, and that will allow you to foster and deepen your relationship with self-loathing. And it is imperative to remember that nobody owes you anything, like nothing. People either help you out of want or obligation. Which place would you rather have someone help you from? You can type it in the comments below. Want or obligation? And Colleen, you're going to have to help me again because I don't know where it's at.
Want,
Yes.
want, and want. I only got once. Want,
Awesome.
of course. Once.
I'm so glad to hear that. The energy behind helping someone out of obligation feels rushed, dismissive, and can leave you feeling like you're a burden. Meanwhile, the energy behind helping someone out of want feels really loving, inclusive, and leaves you feeling loved and valued. So whenever you're walking into any relationship, whether it be a parent-child relationship, a romantic relationship, a friendship, acquaintanceship, any kind of ship, it is important to know what you are wanting or seeking in those relationships. Because if you are looking for, let's say, a loving response when you're hanging out with your parents, and your parents are a little emotionally unavailable because they do not like to deal with their feelings, and they've never really responded to you in a way that you have wanted them to, it is going to trigger your inner child and put you right back into that program or state of trauma. Therefore, wanting a specific response from anyone, in this case, your parents, despite knowing that they're not able to provide you with that kind of love and support, is only going to recreate the same feelings of abandonment and suffering that you have been accustomed to. Furthermore, it reinforces the beliefs that you do not deserve love and that everyone is more important than you. This also keeps you feeling like people should change for you, which also can be defined as insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. So going back to that parent-child relationship, before you get triggered, you can stop, take a deep breath and ask yourself, what do I need from myself in this moment in order to feel loved and supported? Then you can give yourself permission to provide that love and support to yourself. So let me ask you, what are some ways that you could love and support yourself in this situation? And you can answer in the comments. And then I'll need Colleen to read them to me.
So is telling our parents to go to hell not one of them? That's probably not a good way. That's a triggered way. I'm just wanting you to help me out through this.
So here's the beauty of it. I don't think that there's any right or wrong answer because it is where you are, right? And that is loving yourself. So I think it's important to tell your parents to go to hell if that's where you are. You will eventually get to a place where you can remove the emotion from it and all of the damage that you feel they've done to you and not be a victim. And you can really embrace who they are as people and separate yourself and love them for who they are, but not expect them to give that love and support to you because you can give it to yourself.
So true. Thanks, Nicole.
You're so welcome.
Waiting for comments to see if we get anybody. If you want to unmute yourself, now would be a good time to do that as well.
This is an interactive experience.
Maybe I'm the only one on here that has an estranged relationship with my parents. I might be the only one. Lisa raised her hand.
I will share because it was too much to put in the chat. I have a friend who I feel is not a good communicator, and communication is my love language. So I'm very frustrated by it. But I have learned, and I'm a work in progress, to not expect or translate her inability to communicate in that, that it feels bad to me, but rather it's just not her strength and her comfort zone. And I can love her, like someone was saying earlier, make the list of all the things that Shannon said about love, like all the things that you love about that person. And I can shift to the things that I love and not feel so at the lack of communication. But that's like the self-love of me to say, don't have that expectation, and then you won't be disappointed. Because I think for me, if I have an expectation, we set ourselves up for disappointment. Yep. So I try to focus on the things I love versus the things that drive me nuts.
I love it. I love that. That's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate that. So when you commit to really loving yourself, a couple of things happen. Energetically, what begins to happen is you start to see situations from a different and higher perspective so that you no longer feel the need to react emotionally or defend or protect yourself from what others think and believe about you, which ultimately leads to becoming less triggered by people, and you begin to gain momentum to see things as they are and not how they have been. Second, you begin to rewire your brain, also known as your programming, to believe that you can trust yourself, which develops inner confidence and love. This also trickles into feeling more compassion for not only yourself, but others as well. So how selfish is loving yourself now? I don't think very selfish at all. So if you do not love yourself, my friends, I will be honest with you. No one else can love you. No one else will ever be able to love you more than you love yourself, period. Have you ever had an experience where someone has been super into you and it's made you feel very uncomfortable or question why the hell they're even paying so much attention to you? That is a common experience when you do not love yourself and you cannot see that that other person sees your true value and beauty. Do you see how that can leave you feeling self-conscious and anxious because you do not love yourself? There was no way that you would ever have given that person a second thought because you simply could not see the love that they had for you. So if you want the most abundant, amazing, over the top, unconditional love that you have ever experienced in your life, self-love is the only way to go. Because let's be honest, nobody can read our minds or our hearts. And believing that someone else can love us as much as we deserve is actually really ludicrous and dangerous. Because not only are you setting others up to fail, you are reinforcing the belief that no one else will love you. And honestly, that sounds pretty lonely to me. And ladies, you do not have to be single to benefit from loving yourself. When you love yourself in a relationship, it only reinforces and deepens the relationship between you and your partner. So as you can see, self-love and self-care is an unwavering commitment to choose yourself above all else. It is about learning how to give from a full tank rather than an empty one, because giving from an empty tank will lead you to feel resentful for choosing others over yourself. So now I would like to take a few minutes to do a self-love inventory exercise. You guys can write it in the chat, or you can do a piece of paper and pencil if you feel like you want to keep these answers to yourself. I'll give you guys a couple seconds. Drink some water. I also have hot flashes too, by the way, Shannon. They're so much fun. It's exciting. All right, is everybody ready? Okay, question 1. What is your favorite thing about yourself and why? The first thing that comes to your head, it doesn't have to be this elaborate answer. Okay, question 2. How do you handle criticism? Do you handle it well, or maybe like not so well? Okay, question 3. What past accomplishments are you most proud of? Are you happy that you got out of bed today? That you didn't flip anybody off on the way to work? That you nailed an amazing speech? Okay, question 4. How do you feel when you make a mistake? What do you do? Do you beat yourself up, eat a little bit of junk food, maybe do some self-sabotage? Or do you nourish yourself and give yourself lots of love and grace? Okay, question 5. How do you feel when someone compliments you? Do you allow it to land, or do you deflect that shit? Everybody better land. Okay. Question 6. What do you feel you are really good at? Somebody out there's got to be able to pat their head and rub their stomach at the same time. Of course, Colleen could. Yep. All right. Last question. When do you feel most comfortable being yourself? You in the shower singing, in your car, in your bed, in front of a large group of audience?
Oh, I sure hope you're going to ask us to share some of these because that's going to be awesome.
I would love that.
You want me to go first and break the ice for everybody?
1000%.
Okay. I'm going to add a spotlight to myself. All right. So my last one, the number 7, what was the question? When do you feel
Most comfortable being yourself?
So funny thing that came to my mind was being interviewed. Like when I'm being interviewed, I feel that way. And when I'm making dinner with my husband.
Oh,
So
I
those
like
were
that.
those were my 2 for number 7. Anybody else want to go next?
Sure, I'll go. I think it was number 5, and it was the compliments one. And I selected this one because I went probably decades where they would not arrive and land. They were deflected. And now, through, thank God, a lot of spiritual advancement, now they land, I acknowledge them, I appreciate them, and I am then grateful in the moment of it. So now they're fully absorbed. And so, it's part of what fills the cup. And I really liked what Colleen said as well, because I'm the same. Where are you most confident being yourself? It is hysterical because I'm an introvert. And yet when I'm on stage, there's something completely out of body for me, because that's where I'm in my element. But man, then get me off the stage among people and I'm back into my
Wow.
I'm back into that uncomfortable zone, which is a funny thing. But yes, always working on it.
That's super cool.
Well, of course I had to put these on for you, Nicole, because otherwise you just wouldn't be the same, because this is my answer for number 1, my ability to laugh, make people laugh, wear costumes, wear crazy glasses, crazy outfits, whatever it is, to bring a lightness to people and the world.
Julie, I freaking love you so much.
Well, you said if you saw these glasses, you were going to lose it during. So I was being respectful during your speaking that I didn't put the glasses on. But of course, I have to put my glasses on.
Well, because then I would have been like looking at the eyeballs the whole time, like.
Well, I just want to tell you, you're the bomb, 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 bomb.
I'm coming after that bomb.
Anybody else? Oh, Lynn?
Yeah, I would say, they're all so good. And I would just think like what hit me like is like an emotional thing was the accomplishment I'm most proud of is just my desire and passion to keep going through adversity and not looking at the adversity as mistakes and errors, but really have more fun with it. Because the more I love myself, the garbage and the other stuff of other people falls away, and life is just more fun when I anchor into that. So it really is just my unwavering desire to just keep going regardless of whatever little trips and falls and little things I do along the way, is to just go, yep, that happened, and keep going.
I love that. Good for you. I am super proud of you. Anyone else?
I have one
Okay.
that I'm really proud of, and that is the first thing that came to my mind is my children and husband. I'm just I did that.
Yeah, you did.
So that was my first thought.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I have one, Nicole.
Tell me.
Okay, so it's me, Nicole Banks. So the
I'm trying
comment
to spotlight you, but it's not letting me spotlight you, and I don't know why. Like
is
there
because
must
I'm not on
be.
camera.
Mm.
Oh, you're not on camera. That's why.
Yeah, that's okay. I apologize. Thank you. So I feel like when we have been received, we're on the receiving end of a compliment, typically it's our style to go, oh, that's not true, or oh goodness, there's so many things that people see that we don't. There's so many things that others value in us that we don't. And so when we look at the compliments, I just came from an amazing epic women's retreat, and that was the last thing that we actually did, is that they had these big journals that they had been working through the weekend, and the last several pages we all got in a circle and everybody had posties, and we put someone on the stool, and for a minute we just wrote what we saw in them that they didn't see in themselves. And they weren't allowed to say anything. I literally timed it for a minute. And as they receive it, they have to say, I am. And then whatever the Post-it said, which was a compliment from someone else. And they put it in their binder. And the closing statement was, we don't always see the things that other people see in us, but this is a visual reminder of that when you're feeling unworthy or unloved, or you choose not to take care of yourself with self-love and self-care, open this book up and reread all of these amazing messages. Of course, blubber, tears, all the things. But the idea behind it is at the end, when they shut the book, is they say the words, I accept. I'm accepting these compliments from you. Thank you. So yeah, I love that. It's not always easy to do. And of course, even some of these amazing, powerful women that are in the house tonight, it is hard for us to even see some of those things, right? So the words, I accept and thank you. So thank you, Nicole, for this amazing platform. I appreciate you.
Thank you for sharing that. I actually really like that exercise. That's beautiful. I might take it.
It's yours.
So ask yourself, how did you guys all feel doing this exercise? Did any of your answers surprise you? Are you guys going to do anything to change your answers maybe? I'll share a little vulnerable story to close out. I was actually terrified to speak at this summit because the last time I spoke in front of a public audience, okay, I was 7 years old, okay, guys. And I was at the podium, I had all my papers and I was reading, and then I looked up because that's what you're supposed to do. And I totally lost where I was. And I was like searching and trying to like find where I was, couldn't find it. And the kids started laughing. And in that moment, I told myself I would never speak in front of public again. And I actually allowed that narrative to dictate my life until this exact moment right here that you guys are all watching unfold. So, what are you guys going to do for yourselves? I am challenging you to create a change within yourself today, like right now. So Shannon has my link for my TikTok if you want to follow me. I invite you to follow me either there or on my podcast, The Meat Sack Experience. Thank you all so much for sharing this time with me. I appreciate you all, and I hope you enjoy this experience.
Oh, I'm muted. Thank you so much, Nicole. This was wonderful. Really was. You would never know that this was your first time speaking since 7.
Yep.
Right? Yes. This is